Okay, Assalamualaikum and hello to wonderful people who are tuning into this today. So I hope all of you are doing fantastic. And today we have such lovely weather and equally we have such a lovely guest today. I met her in one of my university's debating club and she is a really good debater and spoken poetry. So let's welcome Amy Suhana.
Hi
Yay!
everyone. Thank you for having me in your podcast channel. I really hope that my presence will actually like help you guys have insight on the topics that we're gonna talk today. So yeah,
Okay, so Amy, can you tell us a little bit about yourself so that our listeners can maybe have like more insights on what you do?
alright. So my name is Amy Suhana, and I prefer people to call me by my first name. So if you guys can just call me Amy. I'm 22 years old. I'm from Klang, Selangor. I'm currently a third year international relations student. So I guess that's about it.
Okay, so today I'm having Amy as our guest because we want to talk about journaling, specifically bullet journaling, right? So
Yeah.
I would like to ask Amy, when did you start journaling?
I started journaling like during high school, but it's more about writing the tasks to do or like school homework and like important dates, such as school events and co-curricular activities. I was a very busy student back then. The school prefect, also I represented my school for basketball, netball, and other competitions. So I kind of like need to get my life organized. So as a hectic person, I think that's why like I needed to journal, and I think it started from there.
Oh, so you started journaling because you feel like you need to keep track of your life at that time during high school,
Yeah.
and then you just continue until now?
Yes,
Oh,
because I find it like it's. I think I really developed it as a habit, and also I felt that journaling is part of me, and because I needed to see the objective, because I'm the kind of person who wants to know what I'll do next, or I like to plan stuff. So I guess like journaling really helps me to see the direction of where I'm going.
I see. So do you frequently journal or you just journal whenever you like it?
Uh, so it depends on my mood. I'll be very honest. And I think a lot of YouTubers on like YouTube also, they might look like as if they journal every day, but I'm telling you it's not true. There'll be lazy days where you skip. There'll also be days where you just feel like you don't want to journal, but you can always come back and journal. So I'm the kind of person who, if I feel like journaling, then I'll do it. If I don't feel like it, then I might take the day off and I'll just rewrite back what I've done from the previous days. That works.
Oh, so no pressure.
Yeah, literally no pressure.
So like how does a person start journaling? Like, how to organize and put our messy thoughts into words? Because sometimes, we have all these jumbled up thoughts in our mind and we just cannot simply put it down into our, notebooks, right? So how do you do it?
Yeah.
Uh,
I think like to start journaling is very, very easy. All you need is just basically a notebook and a pen. And then you just start writing. I think initially, right, you don't have to necessarily be strict with what you want to do. Like for me, journaling shouldn't be stressful at all. Like in fact, like it should be helping you instead, and like to make you feel calm and organized. So I think like it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have a specific format that you want to follow. Just write for like as long as you feel happy with whatever you're writing. I think that's it.
that seems pretty simple, right?
Yeah.
Then what about like decorating your journal? That is also like it's up to you, right? Because I've seen YouTube videos about bullet journaling and all of their journals are like really beautiful and I feel like wow, I don't think I can ever like decorate my journal as pretty as theirs. So how do you get like inspiration to do that?
I'll be honest. Like I'm not that artistic. I mean, like people would argue, but I feel that I'm not where I want to be yet. So like there are times where I just don't want to look at my journal because I saw someone else's journal is like more beautiful than mine. But then like I think that's the one of the bad things about journaling, that you start comparing yours with other people. But
Oh.
actually, at the end of the day, it's bullet journaling. Like journaling in general is personal. You know, it's between you and your journal and what you want to do. I think like in terms of like to make it very artistic, I don't think that's the whole point of journaling, because like you can also see like other layouts such as like those minimalist journal where you just basically write it with black pens and decorate and just, or you don't even have to decorate, you just have to write the things that you really want to write in your journal, then that's it.
So, recently we have all these issues with, especially with the pandemic, right? People are not really in, the best state of themselves. So, how do you think journaling can help them with their emotionally and also mentally?
um I guess like in times of pandemic, people usually felt like they are trapped in their own house, and they felt that they're not productive enough.
Yeah.
And sometimes people like to punish themselves for not being productive, which I think is bad, because sometimes like those little things that counts, like, so that's why I think that how journaling helps you is that even things such as, so like in journaling, like there'll be pages where you can put like a habit tracker, you can also put like the things that you want to achieve by the end of the week, things like that. I think those little things counts, and when you actually see you're doing that stuff, because it is recorded in your journal, like it kind of gives the content feeling like, oh look, I actually achieved this, or look, I actually did some stuff during this pandemic. Because like I think like you need a different perspective, and sometimes you need to tell yourself that you did it and you are actually doing not that bad as you thought. So I think like it's very important for people to appreciate those little things that you do and give yourself the credit.
Yeah, true. So, with that, how do you think that, journaling itself can allow a person to like rediscover oneself apart from, having a mental state of, mentally stable? Like, how do one is able to rediscover themselves?
I think like self-discovery through journaling is something that I personally like, because like you can see the change of character from your priorities that you write in your journal. So for example, right, maybe in high school your priorities were like, homework or going out with friends. But as I grow older, right, like right now my priorities shifted to me taking care of myself. I can see more pages of me writing my thoughts on what I reflect on the day, or write up about me wanting to explore more stuff. So I think this subconscious thought, when you capture it to writing in journal, it gives you the opportunity to look back and realize that this is who you are now. And I think it's not about forcing yourself to be someone, but it's accepting who you are now and how do you want to be better from there. So I think that's how. And also like what the things that I like, usually when you write in journal, usually caught up with like your own feeling at that time, right? So most of the time, the things that you write in your journal is usually genuine. So that's what I like about writing in journal and how you discover yourself.
I think that's really beautiful because like you would have like these notebooks as you grow older, right? And then when you look back and you just, wow, I used to be like this, and oh, I used to think like
Yeah,
this. That's really cool. It's like a time capsule of some sort, right?
true.
So, we have like benefits of journaling. Do you think there is like any negative consequences of journaling?
I think number one is the pressure of like wanting to have a consistent habit of journaling. Because when like people hear me like I've been journaling for like since high school, people were like, "Oh my god, you're journaling every day," and I cannot do that. Usually that's the first thing that usually stops people from journaling, because they felt that, oh my god, I have to do it every day, and they felt that it's so much work. But actually, it's just you writing what you want to do the next day. Because like for me personally, I don't usually put lots of stuff in my journal. I just do like a weekly planner, like the things that I want to do in the week, and then my financial planner. Because like, it's time to start thinking about finances.
Yeah.
So because like if you see like YouTubers, they have this spread like habit tracker, like content ideas or what they want to do. Like sometimes like it gets overwhelming for new people who wanted to start journaling, and then because they felt that they felt the pressure and the need to do it every month, and then they stopped. So I think that's one thing that's bad. I think second is the one that I felt personally, like I talked before about how you start comparing your journal to other people. You felt that yours is not as nice as theirs. But at the end of the day, it's you learning to accept that's who you are, and it is something that I think journal is part of your growth, that you can see it yourself. So yeah.
I've read somewhere that sometimes when you journal, right, when you do journaling, you tend to like overthinking about what you write. Do you think that is possible?
That is very possible because because sometimes, right, like for me, I'm a very self-conscious person. I'll get very like, oh, I don't want my future me to think that I'm not cool. I don't want my future me to think that I'm a try hard kind of person. So sometimes there are times where you'll be cautiously writing, and then you feel like there are certain things that you don't want to write it in. But I think that is part of the journey that you'll see in your bullet journal, because from the from the start, like at the beginning of your journaling experience, you will have that kind of write-ups where it's like you trying to impress yourself now and in the future. But I think the more you write, the more you feel comfortable writing in your journal. I think you can see the progress of you pouring your heart out in a more genuine way. And that's when like you realize that when you start feeling comfortable with yourself, you become more honest with yourself when you start to basically write in your journal.
I think that's really inspiring.
Yeah.
Because I do write in journals as well, but I think it's not, it's not beautiful. I don't think I would I don't think I would ever, when I read it in the future, I don't think I would be able to understand with that scrawny handwriting and all that. but yeah. So like yeah, I think I wouldn't write everything because sometimes we feel too much, right? And then we just don't write everything inside. So like, do you know anyone else who journals, and like, do you talk to them? Do you talk to them about what about your journaling experience with them?
I have few friends back in high school who did journaling, but we did different kinds of journal. Like my friend Suhana, like hers is more of a write-up with dark aesthetic touch. So like hers is more on like her writing out her thoughts and everything, and then like you can see like those kind of like arts where like you can see people pasting quotes, pasting drawings and like inside the journal. But like mine is different because like I like things that's organized. So mine is more a bullet journal. So like mine is basically a clean spread of like basically I like boxes or anything with partition so that I know where is where, because like some people like, I mean, I like it. I like to see those messy journals with all thoughts, like they have like all their thoughts all over the place. But for me, like it just gives me more anxiety when I read it back because like, it's all over the place. But yeah, I did have friends who I talked about like, how's your bullet journaling experience? Like, so what are the new things you try in your journal? Things like that.
So you might have like different some days is it consistent, like is it like mostly bullet, or some days it's just all over the place for you?
For me, like I can say 90% of my journal is very organized. It's mostly bullets, but on like I would have like special pages, like special spread for like, for example, when I travel or when I went to some talks, or basically like the things that I feel like it's a one-time experience that I couldn't get elsewhere. So I tried to capture it in a page, like as much as possible, and it is something that when I look back and like I know it's something that I love to do. So in case that in the future I forgot who I was, and when I look back, it will remind me of who I was, like that.
I actually seen the video that you did on your bullet journey, right? And I feel wow, yeah, it is really organized. It is more like prettier than mine. Mine was like all over the place. So like just now you mentioned that there your friend did like a different kind of journaling than you did. So there are differences between regular journaling, like there are types of it, right?
Yeah,
Is there
like
like any difference between bullet journaling and like other types of personal journaling?
um, I think the word bullet journaling already shows like it's more of a point form.
Mm.
Um, so like it's a very basic like it's just like very short and very precise. But there are also like art journals
Mm-hmm.
where the journal is just full of art. So I've seen people who did like one art per day. So that means like they have like every day they will paste something or they will draw something. So I think it's another kind of expression of art.
Mm.
Of like you journaling, basically like you're basically expressing yourself through those drawings, through those arts. There are also people who sometimes like dedicate some of the pages about their friends. So
Mm.
instead of like writing something that they like, they'll write about their friends, or they would like do an art that's related to their friends and things like that. So like there are also journals where it's full of write-ups. So for example, like had this friend back in Form 3. All of the journals is just basically it looks like a novel.
Oh.
So yeah, so like it's very like it's also like um autobiography. Like you have like dates and everything, and then like what you want to do and everything. So yeah, so that's why sometimes like when people tell that they journal, something is like different kinds of journal. So like it is something that different that you can share with other people. So yeah.
So do you like consider journaling a trend or something else? Do you think it's possible for it to become a trend? Do you agree? Like, do you agree like it should be a trend or people should just do it for leisure?
Um, I don't think it's a trend.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there is a community of people who journal. Um, I mean, you can easily find it everywhere. But for me personally, like, I grew up with Tumblr.
Mm.
So like the community there is really, really strong and supportive. Like they would share each other's pages. They would take aesthetics photos of their journal. You know, like decorate it on the table and with plants and everything, so it looks nice. So those people usually like inspire other people to do it. But I think like I don't think that it's a trend entirely. But if people were to start doing it, I think there's no harm to it. So I think it's just like I think it is something that people should do it because like, it really, really helps you to become more organized. So I think like the thing that I don't like about how we usually like keep our calendars in our phone and stuff is that you're always on your phone like almost all the time because like you have to communicate with people and now that you have online classes like you're always facing that you face this kind of like technologies. Sometimes you just get tired of it.
Yeah.
Sometimes that you need to have a change of like scenery. So like for me, like I find it way easier for me to check on my dates on my bullet journal rather than like on my phone or my laptop.
So, writing is pretty hard, right, for a lot of people, especially to keep consistent in keeping a journal. So, do you have any tips for people to start journaling and to keep being consistent for, writing their journal?
I think the number one tip that I would give is find the spread that you feel comfortable with. Sometimes you don't have to buy a plain notebook and like start drawing lines and to actually organize stuff. You can just buy a normal journal at some bookstores which already have calendar and some spaces. You can just write it there. Also like you can also look for journals that are not like specific to every day. Sometimes you just have weekly or sometimes you even have monthly planners. So that way like you don't feel pressured to fill it up every day. I mean sure like at the beginning stages you feel like excited to fill it up every day. But the truth is there will be days where like you will start like losing interest, or sometimes you just forgot to do it, and that will like pressure you to like thinking that, oh, I cannot keep up with this, which I don't think is true. So like I think like if you're still new and if you're still trying, you can just simply try any kinds of like spread, and you like what I said before, like it's not necessarily fixed to only one type of journal. You can always change your spread throughout, because like for me also, back in my high school journals, I wasn't consistent of doing bullet journaling. Sometimes I did do write up journal. I did change to art journal for quite some time. So like you can still experiment, and you can see like which one suits you the best. So like don't feel pressured to stick to one. Make sure you choose the one that you really feel comfortable with.
That's very good advice. Yeah, you somehow have to experience with all of those types of journaling, right? Because then you will know which would best suits you. So, do you have any last words for our listeners before we wrap up?
um, I think like if you're looking into self-discovery, or like maybe you're going through a hard time, especially, like one of the reasons why I stick to journaling is because I didn't had like a good experience in high school, so I needed to hold on to those good little things in life, to make me like realize that I should appreciate these things. So I think like journaling helped me like shift my perspective towards all those things, and that helped me get through my high school life. I think if you're going through a hard time where you don't feel like you're doing enough, start journaling and start writing and count your blessings in there, because it is something that you can look back and you can always like reflect and be thankful for. I think this is one of the things that people might not realize when they journal. Also, like I felt that it's not just helping you in a way to be organized, but it also helps you learn to be comfortable with yourself, care more about yourself, basically. So yeah.
I agree. Because sometimes you just, you just take things for granted and you just don't count your blessings. Some people say like don't count your blessings, but I think it's really important to count your blessings so that you don't exactly take things for granted, right?
Okay, so yeah, it's a wrap. So thanks
All right, good.
for your time. It was a very, very lovely sharing today. I really enjoyed listening to you, and I hope our listeners too will enjoy with that just now. I just,
I had such a great time sharing here.
I really enjoyed it. Okay, so people do check her out on her Instagram and YouTube, which is Amy Suhana, right?
Yeah.
I will post the links in the description box. And if you would like to be a guest on our next episode, you can fill in the form through the link in my bio, okay? So thank you again, Amy, for your sharing, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Shaida.
Thanks.
Thanks, everyone, for listening.
Okay, so bye. Catch you all later.
All right, bye-bye.